Hey, welcome to the impromptu Saturday night 9 o'clock hangout. I normally don't run them on Saturday. They're Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I'm just kind of kicking around. If you guys want to hang out, that's fine. If not, I'll just delete the stream if nobody comes on. Otherwise, I'm just basically working on this Continental, getting it ready to go. Very few things left to do. We have to silk span the flaps. That's no big deal. I've already made the landing gear. I have to make a cowl and fiberglass the nose and glue the canopy on them. And these pieces are all this stuff that I'm talking about here. I already have the wheel skirts cut out of plywood and ready to go. So those are all done. These will all be done tomorrow. All that stuff. I'm hoping that I can get this all done tomorrow. So while we're tinkering, waiting for anybody to come on, if anybody comes on, I'll go ahead and cut a few pieces of silk span and silk span those flaps. If you have any questions, I can't see the chat. I don't know how to make that work yet. If you're a YouTuber that uses this Hangouts portion and know how to make the chat pop up, please let me know. I guess there's a way to do it in one of the other venues, but I don't know how to do it on this. So anyway, these flaps have a couple coats of dope on them. And gonna sand them up here real quick and get ready to. Well, I need to make a fillet for that flap there. I've been working on this pretty heavy here in the last week or so because I need to get this project done so I can get on to my other projects. I have promised this airplane for about a year. And it just took a back seat when I got those painting jobs that I did. So we'll get back to the painting after I get this built, painted, and delivered. So you'll notice what I did there. I just cut a piece of silk span and put it on there, sprayed it down with some water, pull the wrinkles out. Got the dope, it's 50-50. About the best, lightest way to get this stuff to stick is to take a paper towel and force the dope down through the silk span. And it makes it fast too, so. Takes a lot of the weight off because it's on the rag now and the paper is stuck down. So that's silk span on one side, but trim it off. We'll do the other side and then we'll dope it up and let it dry. This is not a how-to video. If you think it is, it's this is probably not the video for you. This is just a hangout. If you'd like to join the hangout, just start your webcam. Come on in. Doesn't matter who you are. I'll run this about, I don't know, unless somebody comes in, half an hour. It's Saturday night, so I don't expect to get much traffic unless you're a family man or a non-drinker like me, who's always building model airplanes. Must be gonna rain. It's awful humid. I guess we're going flying tomorrow. So I hope somebody comes in and joins me tonight. Okay. I have to get the flap or the elevator wrapped real good on leading and trailing edges. And when we come back with this is the bottom. When we come back with the top, we'll overlap it and flap it to the bottom. That seals that up real good, the edges. It takes just a few minutes for it to dry, and then we can move on to the next part. Now these flaps are shaped the way that I shape flaps, and they don't warp, or they don't warp as easy. Otherwise, this should be warping like crazy. But it's not. Let's see if we got anybody here. We only got one viewer. Hey, grab your web camera, come on, log in, talk to me. This is not a how-to video. This is just a hangout. Okay, let's get another piece of silk, man, for the other side. Was trying to find the Leave It to Beaver model airplane episode on YouTube and I couldn't find it. He bought some kind of thimble drone airplane or one Mac airplane or something from the hobby shop for a quarter. He had the hobby shop owner had to loan him a quarter or some crap. I can't remember. It's been a long time ago. But I'll look for it and I'll post that on my channel for you guys that might remember that episode. And I only mention that because I just happened to be watching some Leave It to Beaver episodes. And things were much simpler back then. And for the guys who are watching me, who are not that old and don't even know what Leave It to Beaver is, go ahead and search YouTube for Leave It to Beaver, and episodes, and those are that's the era that I grew up in. Much simpler days. I don't even think I knew what marijuana was till I was about 15, I guess. Maybe a little older. Now 9-year-olds know what it is. Okay. Now we'll wait a minute. It's no big rush to get that going. 3 viewers, but let me turn the banner off here. And turn off and we'll open that up. Anyway, thanks for coming. I wish you guys would get a camera and talk to me, so I don't have to talk by myself or whatever. This is a classic legal Tom Morgan Continental. There has been argument, is it classic legal or is it not? I know it's classic legal because this airplane flew at the contest we had at my dad's hobby shop in July of 1969. How do I know that? Because that was the year they landed on the moon. It wasn't featured in model airplane news until, let's see here. This airplane was featured in Model Airplane News March of 1971. I know this airplane was flown in July of 1969. Quite something. It's really like that airplane. This is when, this month here is the month of the debut of the Super Tiger 60 when it was brand new, first introduced, 1971. Let's see here. I remember seeing that in here. Here's the Continental article. Yeah, while we're waiting for the dope to dry, I can read you a paragraph or two of this. See if my reading skills are all right. Get my other glasses. Oh, God damn. Okay, I'm gonna read you this article. Continental superb control line stunner by a master designer, builder, and flyer. We put our author on the spot with a glowing description of all his abilities, but a close look at the cover photo will explain our enthusiasm for his efforts. They say a photo tells it better, and this one really does. And my Continental is exactly the same. It's got the checkerboards on the bottom, the same layout. The weather is dreary. The apartment looks very bad by Tom Warden standards due to the start of another airplane. The paint on the ceiling from a recent painting mishap, and I'll tell you about nothing to do tonight, so I'm working on this, and I thought let me finish reading this page, and we'll get to bullshit. Let's see. Back to the typewriter. Construction notes. I want to talk mostly about finishing, and boy, Tom was a finisher, and he used the paint. But I would first like to mention some construction areas that require special attention on the stunner. Every stunt construction article mentions alignment as being important. The reason this is important is that a stunt ship does not fly at a constant speed, even though sometimes it seems that way. For example, the flaps are bent. To compensate for the warped wing, an adjustment will only work in one particular speed. If they're bent, okay. When the plane is maneuvering, the bent flap at the warped wing will no longer compensate for each other. And this is so true. This is why I steam everything straight. Will result in the undesirable yawing and rolling. Proper alignment of hinge lines is also necessary to prevent the controls from binding or springing. The first step in correcting a warped wing is to stress relieve the structure by very lightly spraying the wood with 50-50 solution of isopropyl alcohol and ammonia. I do not do that. I use steam, like a pre-flighter taught to me by Ronald Toole. Okay, steam the wing over a boiling pot while holding and bending pressure. Dry heat the wing over the electric burner to prevent the warp from creeping back. This technique works well on finished models, but takes a little longer. No, it doesn't. I'd rather take the warp out of a finished model. The best way to obtain a straight hinge line on any control surface is to use a sanding block. Once the hinging surfaces are true, the hinges themselves must be put in straight. I find it easier to install hinges accurately by gluing only one half of the hinge in at a time. First, burn 2 holes in in each side of the K-Van Dubro nylon hinge with a hot awl. Drill 2 16th-inch holes. Boy, things sure have changed. Between these construction articles, I'm not going to pass on because it's a good article, but these are not things I would recommend. 72. We'll just go to Daryl here and bullshit with him. So what's up tonight, Daryl?
Oh, just getting this fella ready for the Ringmaster event tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get out of the park and meet Dan Mackey. I guess is it Ringmaster-a-thon tomorrow?
Yeah, today and tomorrow. Today we got rained out big time here in Alberta. But the forecast is saying sunshine tomorrow. So.
What's up, Rusty?
Not much. I wasn't expecting to see you online tonight, but
I wasn't going to be, but I figured that I would. I'm just tinkering tonight. I figured I'd just come on and
I wanted to see how the flaps fit into that with the notch you've got and the right before the curve at the tip of it. I've been looking at that ever since we've been working on this plane. So
there you go. I guess I'll try to bring close up.
What kind of hinges you got in there?
My hinges.
Oh, you make them?
Yeah. Pocket hinge. I did a video on that.
Oh, well, I'll look for that. Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty good video.
So you got rained out today, huh, Daryl?
Uh-huh. Big time.
There wasn't a cloud in the sky here. It was a beautiful day. It's bright sun. Not good for stunters, but good for sport flyers.
How did you guys find this stream tonight? Is it off the forum or are you my Google page?
Well, I clicked I clicked notify when you first started the thread, and so it sends me an email saying that there's something going on.
I go to the forum.
Yeah, I just bookmarked your on the bench page or whatever the thread's called, and it sends me an email whenever anything happens in it.
Well, I'm pushing forward to get this thing complete, so I'm working a lot of hours on it to get her done. I should have all the woodwork complete tomorrow. I got to build a cowl, and that's about the only main woodwork I got to do.
It's always the devil's in the details for me. When it starts looking like an airplane, I get visions of flying it, and it just gets more and more tedious as I'm working with the all the little things that have to be exactly right to make the plane fly. Not that everything else doesn't, but you probably know what I mean.
Yeah.
The end run is always the hardest part.
Yeah, the big pieces seem like they go fast because you're, doing a big piece.
Yeah.
It's like Sparky says, when it gets to the tinkering stage, that's when things seem to start slowing down.
The fun light starts to flicker about that time, and I kind of lose my inspiration sometimes. But then I go to bed at night. Before I go to sleep, I start thinking about all kinds of cool ways to do things, and so I'm all jacked up the next day to get out there and frustrate myself trying all the things that seem so easy in bed. You ever had that?
Yep. Thinking and doing can be two different things altogether.
Sure can. When I was in college, though, I would come up with solutions to math problems when I was half asleep and try it the next day, and they actually were on the right track when I had been just completely frustrated with something. And I was always slow on the uptake with calculus and trig and all that junk.
When I got a math problem that's really hard, I just ask Brett Buck.
Yeah. Do you know Brett Buck in person?
Yeah.
Just wondering. I'd like to meet him sometime, of course. A lot of people would, but it seems like, what's the word for it? Pretty dry guy. But
At least.
that doesn't mean he doesn't have a sense of humor, but that's the impression I get. I never have interacted with him in more than a sentence or so.
I've interacted with him a bunch. He's all right. You just got to get to know him.
Yeah. He's not a blowhard, is he?
Anything he tells you, I mean, him and I don't agree on a lot of stuff, but anything he tells you will work. You know, he's not bullshitting it.
Yeah.
He's a real rocket scientist. He really does send shit to outer space.
I've been really impressed with some of the things I've seen him post about the space program and various off-topic things.
He is brilliant. If you have a math problem and you can't figure it out, I'll guarantee you he can figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I stay quiet in the engineering forums. I read sometimes, but every time I open my mouth, so to speak, in there, I say something that doesn't fit into their esoteric way of talking. So yeah, I get kind of fouled out that way. So I just watch. Don't say a lot unless I truly know something that I know to be true that is relevant, which isn't often in the engineering forum. I like the engine forum, actually. I like Randy's forum.
Randy's an engine guy. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and I'm a engine guy. Never formally trained, but loved them, and I understand the concepts pretty freely. I can learn anything about engines.
Well, I'll guarantee you that if I want to take this motor apart, retime it, do all this stuff, I can do it. I have never monkeyed with a model airplane motor, but remember, I built high-performance motorcycles.
Right.
You're telling me that I can't do this? I don't think so.
Oh, and how well you speak two-stroke.
What's that?
It's all in how well you speak two-stroke.
You know, it's real simple. Same amount of compression on the bottom as there is on the top. You just got to make it pop. A lot of people don't believe that either, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's why when a crankshaft seal leaks, you end up with a religious piston, quarter-size hole in it. He leans out, sucking air through the crankshaft seal.
I don't do any, you know, when Randy Smith sends me a motor and I get it, I bolt it in and run it. They work perfect. Why should I take it apart? The only time that I ever took PAs apart is when I was running them hard, over compressing them to put out maximum power for them Thunderbolts, and I'd burn them up. And then I did do the liners on them, but I don't never do nothing with motors.
Mm-hmm.
I always say when it came to a two-stroke, because they're pretty much strung out from the factory, like even motorcycle and snowmobiles, we used to do what's called trail porting. And all we did was just clean the ports up, do what the factory cannot afford to do, just make everything clean and smooth. But other than that, I always told them, you want more power, you just get a bigger engine.
Mm-hmm.
You do know that we used to polish two-stroke ports. You know that, that's not a good idea. The rough port puts out more flow.
I had heard they had figured that out. I guess it's because condensation on the slick surface if you polish it. Is that what happens?
Well, the only port you want to polish on a two-stroke is the exhaust port. We used to beat blast the rest because you want turbulence to keep the fuel atomized on its way in through because your fuel goes in, it goes down through the crankcase. When the piston comes down, it shoves it up past the port. So there's all kinds of places for it to drop out. And if you don't keep it turbulent, it will drop out, especially the oil.
Does it make for a more even mix between fuel and air, the turbulence?
It just keeps everything suspended, I guess, so to speak, on its way to the crank. Because in a four-stroke, the air pulls it through the carburetor, and you're pretty much mixing in there. Then it goes in the valve in the combustion chamber. Then it's compressed. Two-stroke goes through the same process, but then it's going to go down into the crankcase. When the piston goes in, it shoves it up. So it's got quite a journey before it finally burns.
So I guess the individual particles of the different components could start to separate if they weren't swirling between the time it leaves the crankcase, goes up the bypass and into the combustion chamber.
That was a theory. But like I say, you want to keep everything turbulent. And the only time we polished anything, was, like I said, was the exhaust port.
Yeah.
And that helped more or less just to keep the carbon from sticking to it. Because any jagged edges, buddy, that carbon, she piles up on that pretty quick.
We had a mechanic at Woodman where I worked. He decided he was going to make his own flow bench. So he got himself a vacuum cleaner, a toilet paper roll, and a piece of toilet paper. And he was trying to tell me he could port the heads and see how they were flowing by this vacuum cleaner toilet paper rig that he put together. Hilarious.
No comments for him with the toilet paper?
No, it was stupid. He doesn't realize, that it has to flow so many inches of mercury. Not. Well.
When you get a chance, how about hold your hinges up to the camera so I can take a look?
That's how they arc through the
I love the way you routed that fit. Okay, I see. I saw you use the router to do that to the fairing on the tail on the stabilizer the other night.
Yeah, I got a whole hinging video on how to do these hinges.
Okay, I'll go back and watch that. Hinging is always something that I procrastinate on because although that always turns out fine, I always dread doing it.
It's not one of my favorite jobs.
Yeah, I've been 100% successful, but I just somehow don't like doing that.
Well, these hinges, while not my idea, they are my hinges or whatever, took me 20 years to figure out. I know I've told the story. My flying buddy Ron O'Toole, he was a Missouri Youth State Air Champion. And he told me about something like this in 1991. And 20 years later, 91, 20 years later, I was sitting on the couch and I went, hey, I know what he was talking about. And I came up here and did these. And if he'd have drew me a picture, I could have done it. But he just tried to explain it to me. And it took 20 years for my brain to catch up.
I prefer looking at pictures than hearing descriptions too, or at least have a picture to accompany the description. I'm a visual learner.
I wasn't sure how he did those hinges until I watched this video, and then it's like, wow. It explains everything, 100%.
Simple.
Yep.
And
And
well,
that-
you guys don't feel bad. It took me 20 years to, and I mean, it just came on like a light. I went, hey, and I hadn't seen Ron for, quite a while. I said, hey, I know what the hell he was talking about. And I come up here and I did him. Just funny how your brain works.
Used to think the gas tank and everything on the profile was ugly. Yeah, well, electric took it to a whole new level.
I like to see the hardware. I like complicated looking things. I like plumbing and pipes and mufflers and gas tanks all sitting right out there where you can see them.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think this Saturday hangout was going to be a success. I'm glad somebody showed up.
I'm
We had
usually
7
sitting around.
watchers.
After I watched my local college football game and then was just kind of sitting around. So I heard the email ding. So I came over and it was you, or your thread anyway. I got that same bug crawling on my screen tonight. Die, bug. Got him.
Yeah, I was watching YouTube and the thing popped up saying that it was live. I noticed you were saying that the thickness of your elevator and the is less than the thickness of your stab. Now, is there different size hinges for that, or are you just saying them according?
No, this one here is, both of them are 3/8. That one over there, the stab is 3/4 and the flats are 3/8, I think. Maybe it's 5/8. Yeah, it's 5/8 and 3/8. You just need to have your hinges the same diameter thickness as your flaps or elevators. Doesn't matter what this part is.
It helps if the non-moving part's a little bigger, so you get more deflection with the way you route it and fit them together, doesn't it? You understand?
It doesn't matter as far as deflection, but what this helps is blanketing. So
Oh yeah, I like that idea. You don't have to seal them.
you're flying along. If you move it up just a little bit, it has no effect on it. If you move it down just a little bit, it has no effect because it's blocked.
Right.
By
the
flying surface.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think I saw Dave Tribble. Is it Dave Tribble? Bill Tribble? I can't remember. Do something like that one time. A long time ago, a couple of years ago. What's his name? Bill Tribble?
It's Dave.
Dave Tribble. Okay. Yeah, I PM'd him and asked him a couple of questions about his wing, and he was pretty forthcoming and a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. So we got. I was telling at the opening of this video what I got left to do. Got to build a cowl, fiberglass the nose, glue the canopy on, make one flat fillet, put the fillets on it. I don't know. I think it's going to be 2 more days. I don't think I can finish it all tomorrow.
Is there some more shaping to be done on the nose, or is that just it without paint? It kind of looks like it, but then I wondered maybe that's just the way you naturally designed it. I can't tell you exactly what I'm looking at, but yeah, that's it.
That's,
Yeah, and it curves down. Yeah.
no, it's shaped right.
Is it? And are you just going to carve the cowl out of a block?
No, I never do it like that. Probably do another cowl video voiceover, because I showed how to build a cowl, but it wasn't done in voiceover. No, I laminate them all, the pieces all together.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I saw that one too.
I got a lot of catching up to do.
I got 400 videos, over 400 you can watch.
Lord, I don't know if I'll ever get them all. I'll get a good start on it though.
Geez, you got me beat. Getting close to 350, but it took me 10 years to do that.
I got
This one is
165.
409.
I think I got 165 or somewhere thereabouts.
That little sleeve you had for the half A's, or you got the airplane running. And it looks like it's in some kind of folded over sleeve. And then you just pulled it out and off it went. That was kind of slick.
Oh yeah, they call it the Rusty Stooge now. I did not invent it, but a lot of people give me credit for it. It's just, well, it is my renovation, rendition of it. But yeah, it's a bath mat folded over with the rubbery part on the inside. Once it gets castor oil on it, it works really well. And the bungee cord, I just move to, I go right along the trail edge of the wing, no matter what the shape of the plane is. I just pull the bungee, then I set that brick on top of the bungee just to snug it really tight. And all I have to do is step back fairly gently, but the brick and the bungee keep it from twisting while I'm walking away from it. It works real well.
It sounds like the same setup combat guys use to launch their planes.
Yeah, that's where I got the idea.
Yeah, I never saw anything like that before. And I was like, well, that's kind of.
It's good for test running too. That's what I use it for mostly now, because you have to run those you have to test run those damn half A's. You never know when they're going to be finicky or not. The orifices are so small that they just have to be pristine clean. That's it. When I come home on my post flight, I usually disassemble the spray bars and needle valves and blow them out. And I use bladder pressure to feed all of my half A's. I don't use a hard tank on anything.
No.
Nah, because with all the, you've seen how I fly. I like to snatch it around, and no matter how many G's or how you're turning, the engine's always getting the same fuel pressure. And if you accidentally set it too lean, then the inrushing fuel floods it and chills it, and it speeds back up. So the worst that can happen on a lean run is a roller coasters or surges up and down, but it'll never overheat, because every time it overheats, it sags, the inrushing fuel comes in, refrigerates it, and then it speeds right back up. So if you hear the surgeon, just to richen up the needle a little bit before the next crank.
I was hoping Jared Hayes was going to come up tonight. You remember him last night saying that he was supposed to stop by Dan McAtee's and pick up a Cardinal?
Yes, I do remember. He was on the road headed somewhere, wasn't he? I think that's what he was. He was on the way and was going to stop there en route to where he's headed.
He might as well not waste his drive, because that deal is not going down. That airplane's long gone.
Uh-oh. Was it attack or go for something?
I told Dan he better give a call to him, because Jared's going to be stopping at his house at 2 o'clock in the morning. He said he won't be getting much here at 2 o'clock.
I'm pretty sure he probably gave him a heads up on that.
Yeah, I just overhauled all my half-A engines there. Actually, the first Time I was on this, joining in here, I was just finished doing all my half A's over. What kind of reeds are you running in your engines?
I got front rotary valves on the TDs. I don't run many reed engines, but the
Hey,
one
guys.
on
Hey,
the Little Satan was a TD 049.
What we got there?
That's Mike.
Hey, Sparky.
Caveman. What's going on, Caveman?
Caveman's here.
well, so you don't run any reed, you don't run any of the B style engines at all then?
I will run the Bs. If I do, it'll be without the built-on tank, because that just introduces too many problems and air leaks, and it's just a pain in the ass. It's what makes everybody hates Cox engines. But if you set up a good Cox engine with just a backplate and an external fuel tank, it should be just as easy to crank as a TD is, as long as, you know, they're easy to floods. But once you get the hang of not flooding them, they're 1 or 2 flip starters, just like the big ones, and keep all of the orifices sparkling clean.
Yeah, I always used to prime them with the piston closed. They used to work well for me.
Yeah, that's the way I do it too. Something with it, if it's got SPI, sometimes I'll put a little drop under the SPI gap at top dead center, and that's just as good as dropping it in the Venturi rotary valve engine. You just be careful not to put too much. But they run really well. Little Satan engine was on song, and it runs like that every time. And with a bladder, you pretty much just leave the needle where it is. You don't have to fish for it every time you crank it like you do with the reed valve engines.
What are you using for a bladder?
A small surgical tubing, and I put a one-way valve in the, got a little plastic one-way valve. I stick it in the tail, and that way I just put my plastic hemostats between the bladder and the engine and pump the bladder full right through the tail, and it's easy. Got a little conical shaped pickup inside of it, so if there's a slight air bubble, it's the very, very end of the run before that bubble can possibly get into it. I've held one in my hand and tried to make the bubble go up to it, and it won't do it. It just goes up and around it, so that's convenient. And they also, unlike tank engines, when they get low, almost, well, the last couple of laps, they they go rich instead of going lean, and so the engine slows and burbles, and you get a good solid lapse warning, a slowdown, and then you can land it. So they're easy to tell when it's going to shut off.
Sure, sounds like a great video coming up there on how to do all that.
Oh, I got a how-to video on making bladders. I got a how-to, it's a 2-part. It's to how to make bladders and then how to crank and run bladders. It's on my channel. It's
Okay.
I did it when I was fairly new with bladders, so I made it more complicated than it has to be, but I've added some notes to the thread explaining the differences that I've made to make it easier.
Are you promoting my channel, Rusty?
Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, I looked at the newsletter today, and I did have a Stunt Hanger forum link, but it was buried, and so I put it at the top with the logo on the forums page, and then also Stunt Hanger Hobby is on the vendors page too.
Not what I meant. On your YouTube page.
Usually I only put Cox Engine Forum at the bottom of it, but because it's such a half-A group, but since I've been flying Stunt, I guess I need to be putting Stunt Hanger at the bottom of my credits.
I'm promoting yours.
I did. I have done it on a couple of recent movies, but as a habit, I haven't been doing it.
I'm promoting your forum on mine, on my homepage.
Oh, you're talking about Cox Engine Forum, or what forum?
Whatever your YouTube channel is.
Oh, okay.
I'm
How are you?
promoting your YouTube channel on my YouTube channel page.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Well, do likewise.
Yeah, I
I
got
hadn't noticed that. I'll take a look at my home page next time I go to YouTube. Thank you.
yeah, I got the stunt hanger link on my model airplane videos. I don't think anybody in the gun world wants to.
But I post
Unless
good
you
and
know how to
bad.
blue.
I post good and bad. It's mostly flight reports, and if I crash, I post a crash. You know, if I fly a crappy pattern, I post a crappy pattern, and most of my patterns are crappy. I do not fly pretty patterns yet, but anyway, I just enjoy putting it out there.
At least you can do a pattern.
Yeah, I've got my first movie ever was the first loop I ever flew with a little jumping bean. And it started from there, and I've just posted flight reports ever since, and a couple of how-tos like the bladders, and I did a how-to on Walter Rumblin's jig that he made for profiles, and that came out pretty good. I was kind of proud of one of those movies anyway. I think you might have, yeah, I think you saw one of them and commented on it.
Yeah. Now Walter puts out nice kits.
Yeah.
I got a few of them here.
You got a what?
I got a few Walters kits here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Before the Canadian dollar tanked. He's got that. The last one I bought from him, I think it was that Sakatumi. It's called.
I like that plane. I know it. I competed against the Sakatumi last October. Mike Wanjke has come over from combat to try out some precision stunt, and I'll tell you what, a combat pilot has the reflexes it takes to fly pretty patterns. Mike's a cool guy. I really like him. He's a big, tough, and looking, intimidating guy, and he has fun with that. But he's actually a really cool dude. And his son Sam is a natural. He's teaching must be 6 years old by now. But he's been flying with Mike's help since he was in kindergarten, and now he's solo and has been for about a year now, and competing in basic stunt at a couple of contests and won.
He's still at that no fear age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah, well, I'm buying the ARFs here lately because their lifespan's kind of limited trying to learn these outside maneuvers.
Can you fly inverted?
Yeah.
Have you? But you said you hadn't tried an outside loop from inverted.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you have. Okay. Now, when you, what happens when you?
I haven't tried an outside from inverted.
Oh, okay.
I told to go up on a wing over and then do the outside out of a wing.
Yeah, because you start with a lot. You burn off so much energy, then you have a more controllable plane as long as your lines stay tight. When you start from inverted, you have so much energy when you just pull full down from 45 or higher.
Yeah,
But
it's when I get into the second and third one, there's a funny thump, and then the engine stops making noise, and there's grass in the air.
yeah, I hate that. Oh, so you're doing consecutive outside, trying to do consecutives.
Yeah.
And so you get a couple, and then it goes in. Okay. Well, let me talk about that for a second. When you do your first loop, okay, it's successful. But when you do your second loop, fly up a little higher and add more elevator when you're coming down because you're moving so much faster, and then let off the elevator as you come around the bottom and let it grow again, because you're not letting the loops grow back to full size. It's winding up. Off the elevator on the upside, then it will lose a little energy, take a bigger arc, and go higher, and give you the same amount of room you started with on the first loop. And then if you start using that kind of handle action, you can do it until the lines wrap up so tight, you know, that you have to go the other way to unwind them.
I try to do,
And that's the same with insides too, actually.
I'll have to try that. I'm running out of season here.
Yeah, you have to fly through the loop instead of just yanking hope, is what I always called it when I first started doing.
I did better with yanking hope.
Hope will always grow larger and larger on every loop, and that's when you hit the ground.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that when I switched to stunters in 2013. I flew my first larger than half A plane, and I took that yanking hope from the half A's to the big planes, and it's even worse with a heavy plane. And so yeah, there was a lot of bad habits I had to get over, and it took me a long time to stop doing the things that you have to do with a half A sometimes. Yanking hope works better on half A's too, but I just never learned it until I got into precision stunt.
My first inverted flight I did in over 35 years, I got on YouTube. And you can watch that one bounce off the ground pretty nice inverted.
Usually you bust less plane when you hit inverted because you don't have the landing gear to leverage everything apart.
Yeah. Actually, I put her back together again. And I finished it off this year. I was at Hangar 9 PT-19. And I could never keep her running because the whole fuselage is supposed to be a profile, but they built it up and it was so flimsy. And unless you used a bladder, you could not stop your fuel from foaming.
That's strange.
So I put an electric motor in it, and that fixed my fuel foaming problem. But I think I was practicing horizontal H when I punched it in this time.
Lazy eights are a handy thing for when you get tired of turning and get a little bit off balance. You can stop, and
Yeah.
if you get tired of looking at the sun, if it's in the right direction, you can do some lazy eights and just relax for a minute.
This thing is dusty, but I'll show you a low pullout. See this right here? Top of this rudder? Took an inch off of it. That was at the team trials in front of everybody. Upside down, low pullout, turned a 14-inch prop into a 10-inch prop.
And it kept running?
What's that?
Did it keep flying?
Yeah. That was a low pullout.
Yeah.
Well, the paint's worn off.
One of my old club friends, Watt Moore, has a friend named Curtis Comer, who is the master of the low pullout in these parts, and he just almost scrapes it on every low pullout. I don't know if he thinks it impresses the judges or not, but he won profile for 11 years in a row at Huntersville.
Well, that was the lowest pullout I've ever done. It went along the pavement, and it was on a square, outside square, and I come up like that, and the engine quit, and I landed.
My Magnum used to pull me around so hard. I did several touch and goes at the bottom of a hourglass, but kept on going. That was kind of scary, though.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Magnum was too much plane for me, though. it was 72 ounces, and that's more than I can handle.
I think that was 2011 team trials that I did that at.
Magnum, was that by Sig?
Yep.
Yes, it was. It's a big hollow foam sheeted foam wing plane. And it's a big old plane. It's a little bit smaller than a Strega.
A good flying airplane too. I don't know why they quit producing that.
It was a graceful plane. I started flying it when I was still flying the beginner pattern, and then went on and was flying full patterns with it before I destroyed it one awful day. I told that story the other day. That's the one, the Norfolk Aero Modelers award ceremony when I won beginner. It was an old one. It had a couple of thousand flights on it.
The guy who designed that is Mike Scott, Mike Pratt, and he's on the forum. I know him pretty well.
Yeah, Wayne knows him. I don't know him. Never talked to him. I've not been able to get in touch with Walter Onlin. He must be in pretty ill shape, because he was excited about me building it. What'd you say, Darryl?
He's been having a lot of trouble with his health, it seems.
He was really excited when I did the jig videos and was posting pictures of my twister, and then he wanted it for his website, and then he's just kind of AWOL now. I've emailed him. I've never tried calling him on the phone, because when somebody's ill, I don't want to be.
No.
You never know when they're sleeping, or so. I just hope he's okay.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Can't believe I'm doing so bad. It's terrible. How many reports? 15 supposed to be today.
So there's 3 of us non-party animals here so far,
Yep.
right? Friday night, Saturday night on Stunt Hanger. Boy,
We're having fun.
yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd say Friday and Saturday are probably my most likely nights for getting on. Monday and Tuesday, yeah. Monday and Wednesday, maybe not so much.
I work shifts, so it did vary. I get 2 weekends off a month, and I work through 2 a month, so
Oh, gee.
I like it. I like shift work.
I did that
kind of
for a
work you
while.
do?
My body never adapted to it.
Yeah, it's not good for you.
I have to get up at 4:15 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to go to dialysis, and that's tough because I'm such a night owl. I never can make myself go to bed before 12 or 1.
Sounds like my wife.
That's not. Yeah. She a night owl?
Yeah, she just goes, man. She doesn't stop.
Yeah, I've got a high energy wife too, but since we're both getting old now, she's slowing down, and I'm happy too, because I'm basically a lazy guy.
Well, I mentioned that to her once, and then just after I closed my mouth, it's like, oh shit, you do not talk about age to a woman.
Nope.
Yeah, it was too late.
Now I wear mine like a badge because I was supposed to have been gone about 15 years ago. So
Jeez.
You aren't paying attention. That's good.
I've been
The
on
rest of us
dialysis for
familiar with what you're talking about. I've got a niece who's on a kidney waiting list again.
Yeah.
That put up with dialysis since she was 17 years old, and turns 30 this December.
Yeah, I started when I was 29, and I just turned 60. So I've been on it more than half my life. The transplant went very badly with me, and I have, I'm not gonna go into that prevent me from getting another transplant, but anyway, that's it.
Yeah, my niece had a transplant when she was 16 or 17. It took.
That's
But
tough
the
for a
hospital
teenager
did
too.
not keep track of or take care of bladder infections quickly enough, and it killed me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was lucky enough to be old enough to and have a son born at the same time, to where I had a mission.
Yeah.
And my mission was to see the boy grow up, and now he's almost 32, and he's a chemist by degree and a chemical engineer by trade. So, and he's a cool dude too. He grew up to be a hippie too, so I'm proud of that.
All right.
He likes the same music I got, and he gave me this Led Zeppelin T-shirt I'm wearing, you know. So
Cool. Sounds like a cool kid.
yeah, he is.
Well, the guys are starting to get their shirts that I sent out. I can't believe they got them that fast.
How
I
often do you
wanted
do a run
to, but I
across?
didn't have the finances at the time. Still don't.
Yeah, a lot of guys.
How often do you do a run of shirts?
I don't know, whenever I think they're gonna sell.
Do another run of that one. Hopefully, I'll be in a little better place financially, and I'll get one.
A lot of people think I make a lot of money at that, but I don't.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of
How
work
about
involved
hats?
doing that.
Have you ever made hats?
Yeah, I did. It didn't go over too good.
Really? Everybody's likes a different kind of cap, I guess. I
I think they were
don't have a
$12.95.
big head.
They were
Some hats
$12.95.
look
I
fun.
just didn't sell that many of them, and it's just more of a pain in the butt to do than it's worth.
Is that,
I don't know. Go ahead.
I've heard people say that Junar is orange, but it looks red to me when you get it on. Well, at least on the other camera, it does. It looks dark, deep red, beautiful. But is it orange or is it red?
It's orange, red, yellow, white, and black.
Yeah, the primary color on that was orange, and then you did the red on the nose.
Right.
Well, the main color on the wing, for instance, is orange or red or a mix.
Orange.
Okay. Now, from the view I got right now, it looks pink, but I know it's not pink.
See, it's red.
There we go. That looks
red
deep red there.
too.
That's a beautiful color there on the monitor. Hey, Tribble, no, don't walk on the keyboard now. Get back.
Most of the time when I paint a plane, it's camo.
That's only 1/4 orange, too.
Wow.
No, baby, you can't walk on the keyboard. Get down.
There's no primer.
Oh, really? Well, no, I guess as long as you dope it so that there's no pores left in it, there's no reason for primer, is there?
The thing you use primer for is to fill grain.
Mm-hmm. Well, I used, on the twister, I used the DC 540. I love that stuff. It was off too. You just got to have a light touch when you start seeing the wood through it, and it came out beautifully.
Can't get the
But what about the of the 540? Or I had to fix a place that I botched up, so I sanded it off, and I thought since I was putting white paint on it, I would try the Duplicolor white primer, but it went on and turned into unsandable glue.
It's
And
not the same
really,
stuff.
that's apparently not. It really pissed me off because now I got scritch marks in it. If you look close, I can see it. Nobody else notices it, but that really pissed me off. I mean, that stuff wouldn't sand off for anything. I wondered if it was because it mixed with something that was already on there and reacted that way to turn hard.
No,
Who the hell knows?
no.
That again. I might
You get
try it
it,
on.
if you need primer, you take clear dope or white dope or colored dope or whatever you got, and mix in 4 or 5 scoops of Johnson's baby powder and make
What I've done that before with polyacrylic, but that's pretty heavy stuff.
You can use cornstarch. I got a thing of Randy's zinc stearate baby powder. I like the smell of Aerogloss and baby powder.
I like sanding it with the baby powder because the whole time you're sanding, you can look at what's coming off, and when the baby powder stops, clear transition, baby powder just stops coming off, and so you know you're there. That's when to get out the finer stuff and finish it kind of lightly and move on. My impression anyway.
Ain't no better primer than DC 540 though.
I couldn't find that
Yeah.
in Canada, but they got the Napa primer. The can looks identical because I went and asked for it and they said it's only in the States. But when I seen the can you're using there and what we can get in Canada, they look identical.
There it is right here. It's color lines.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same stuff, yeah. But they don't call it DC 540 here. I don't know if that's.
Well, get it. How much is it a can?
I don't remember now. I bought a can, but I haven't tried.
$3. You got to
About
You gotta-
$8.
$8.
Ouch.
$3 for this can.
Ouch.
That's Canadian.
So that means it's worth 50 cents, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And I don't know what's in this, but I think it does have a. Let me look here. Let me see if it's got. I think it might have xylene in it as well.
Oh yeah, the good old magnifying lamp. I couldn't live without mine.
I ain't there yet. I'm still bifocals is good enough.
It says here ingredients. Yeah, ketones, toluene, and xylene. I knew it had xylene, right? Extremely flammable. Yeah. Do not smoke. Yeah. Paint for harm. I'm sure. I wonder if I just pull up an MSDS. All right.
Well, as long as you don't
That's
use
what's wrong with me. It says reports have associated repeated and prolonged occupational exposure to solvents with permanent brain damage and nervous system damage, intense misuse by deliberately concentrating and inhaling the contents may be harmful or fatal. Warning, this product contains chemicals known to the state of California that cause cancer and birth defects and other reproductive harm. Do not take internally. No kidding.
No shit.
That's why I don't go to California because everything causes.
I'll have to remember that.
What doesn't cause cancer in California?
But you see 540 on the Twister, I was really impressed with the Duplicolor acrylic lacquer that I used for my white, red, and blue. That was, it reminded me of dope. It went on really thin, good coverage, and dried about as fast as I could spray it on.
I'm gonna go down and see if I got a can of that in the basement.
It's real dangerous stuff. I've been using it for 10 years. It works great.
I wonder if they can even sell it in California.
Probably not.
Who the hell knows? I don't know. Maybe Charles will come on. You, yeah. No, I thought that was Charles. That was Daryl sitting back down.
It's just me trying to break my neck on a cord.
Oh, that's always fun.
This is, I did buy a can after all, so I got a can of it here, but they don't call it, they just, CDC 540 gray primer. Yeah, so it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. DC 540.
This is
Yeah,
CDC. So
DC
C
stands
must
for
stand for
duplicate.
Canada, eh?
Yeah, it must be Canada. But hold the can up so I can see the front of it.
Same shit.
Well, you have
I
a
know the DC stands.
you have a hazardous label on the front of yours. I don't have that. But now
I don't either.
turn it on the back right here. Let me show you here.
See, we got,
Turn it on the back so we can see the barcode thing on the back.
Yeah, that's where it says DC 540.
yeah, that's where I saw it say that, yeah.
Yeah, that's the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just got a C in front of it, probably for Canada.
Yeah.
And
CDC 540, huh?
it's got all this French plastered
That's
all
it.
over too, so.
Well, have you
That's
ever
what
did you
takes
ever
it up
use that yet? Have you used that yet?
Not yet, no.
Well, once you use it,
You'll like it.
you'll love it.
You got to shake it harder than any other paint I've ever had. And roll the ball around on the bottom of the can when you first
Yeah.
start too.
Yeah, I usually spin them around like this a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought this can.
I usually turn it upside down about a half hour before I'm going to start shaking. I wish I had a can. Now we could be. I'll be shaking.
Yeah.
Percussion,
New band.
DC percussion.
The DC 540 band.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DC 540 can band.
Well, I think Napa ought to give me a commission on that stuff because I have sold it to a bunch of people on the forum.
They should.
I wouldn't be using it if you hadn't started using it.
So I've been using it 10 years.
I never ever thought of using
I
primer.
just found out about it.
Never heard tell of it before.
The best stuff you'll ever use.
It's good filler. It really does. It's a good filler.
Well, I got a
And-
turd polishing now, but
When-
I got that, I'm gonna use money coat on that one.
When I sanded the DC off of my twister, I had to take a box fan and set it on a couple of milk crates and put an air conditioner filter over it, and then sand over the air conditioner filter. And it kept it from making such a mess because that stuff really comes off when you sand it.
What are you doing, that bird?
People ask me, how many cans does it take? Well, I usually only, if I'm going to use it, like on my Junar, I think I used 1 can just on the filling. If the more that it takes, let's say an airplane, a big airplane takes 6 cans. They say, well, where's all the primer go? Well, it's on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You're sanding it all back off.
Great dust. I'm assuming.
After the flaps and stab and everything were done on my twister, I think I used about 3 cans and maybe part of a 4th.
Ringmaster.
Yep.
Yep, it's a ringmaster weekend.
Figure out how I'm gonna get those damn sticker weights off the tail. Wondering why the hell they put him there in the first place.
What's on the tail?
I use sticker weights. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Uh,
Usually I just,
that sticky's just for testing purposes.
yeah, getting it off is another. I'll use the heat gun to get it hot, I guess.
Yeah.
I might get a Ringmaster flight tomorrow if Dan will let me fly his.
Hey, there's a build for you, a Ringmaster on Stunt Hanger.
I can do that in one evening.
There's a lot of people that are wild about ringmasters.
Best flying turd you ever get your hands on.
I got Ringmaster plans around here. I got one for D. Rice's Super Ringmaster. It flies real good.
The Super Ringmaster?
Well, D. Rice, he designed it, and it's got flaps on it, and it's bigger. It's for a 46.
Probably got an airfoil too, eh?
Oh yeah, yeah, different airfoil. Just looks like a Ringmaster, but it's not.
Who designed the clown?
I don't know.
Got the same airfoil as a Ringmaster with flaps.
Super Clown. Let me look here. I'll figure it out.
I don't. That's about the funniest looking plane.
The Clown or the Super Clown?
The one with the cockpit right in front of the vertical stab.
That's the Clown. That's
I guess all of them are like that, aren't they?
No, the Super Clown actually looks like a Ringmaster with flaps, sort of.
That must be why I've had them confused before with each other.
Yeah, I had an electric Super Clown from Brodak, and I killed it on an inverted.
You need to get you
inverted. I bet I'm going
you
to.
need to get you a Yuki or something to start learning those outside loops with. I got a Yuki. You know what a Yuki is? The foam wing. It's got out of a stick of pine.
Yeah.
That was funny when I first learned it was made out of pine. I thought, damn, I had never thought of making an airplane out of a pine board, but that's what a Yuki's fuselage is.
Tough as nails.
I flew one in last October's contest, and weekend I was running fever, and I went to sleep during the reverse wing over, and drove it straight into the ground in an official flight. But since I didn't do the pull out or even attempt it, they let me fly again. But I had to glue the wing back on really quick with epoxy, and the temperature was kind of low that day, and the epoxy didn't harden enough, so the wing folded into square loops, and it shot across the field and jerked my arm. Get out of it. Oh, hey, say hey, Tribble. That's my 20-year-old kitty cat. She wants to walk on the keyboard. But it jerked my arm so hard that I just collapsed in pain. Man, I bent that Fox steel bell crank in half, both sides of it. I never knew a plane could jerk that hard. But I just broke the wing. I just need to stick the wing back on. It'll be all right. That's the nice thing about a Yuki. So if you want to do outside loops and plow it into the ground, you won't hurt anything you can't fix in a night.
A Yuki.
UKEY.
Oh, it's really like.
I'd show you a picture of one if I knew how to show you a picture, but I don't.
The Clown is by Dick Treacher.
Never even heard of him.
Who used to kit those?
This ain't right. This is a, I don't know. It's an upright engine. It's a goofy looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's quite a few clowns. There's the half-A clown, then there's the Clown.
The Super Clown.
Super Clown was the
That's the one that should balances on his chin.
Yeah, yeah. He had the glow version. I don't think he was all that happy about the way it flew, but I mean, the design's like what, 1950s.
Yeah. I always assumed it flew about like a Ringmaster.
Yeah, the airfoil is the next step up from a profile. That's about as good as it gets. I thought the Ringmaster flew pretty good till I flew my Skyray.
Oh, Skyray is wonderful. I was given one after I flew my shoestring at my first beginner contest, and that flyway, that Skyray was like an injection of skill. The shoestring, I found out how poor profile Goldberg shoestring stunts. It's just too twitchy. It's like flying a big half A or a slow combat plane.
What'd you have for an engine?
It's short. I had too much engine. I had a ball bearing Thunder Tiger 25.
Mine's almost built. It's been that way for 15 years now. But I got it set up for the LA 25.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would be a whole lot better choice.
I'm just kind of playing around here, screen share, chat. I wonder, control room, I wonder how the hell I send a damn link on here. I know that it can be done. Apps. Let's see here. Add apps. Loading your featured apps.
I'm actually pretty happy about this now. Now I know I got the right shit.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
definitely the right shit, yeah. And you know, the duplicolor colors you can get in either acrylic lacquer or acrylic enamel. And Sparky explained to us the other night what huge difference there is between the two. Well, you were talking about dope, but I think the lacquer acts a lot like dope as far as gassing off and leaving nothing but the pigment.
I got enough dope in the basement to paint a 747, so that's the road I'll take.
How did you get such a stock of dope?
Oh,
He grew it in his
People
backyard.
have the talk about when you own a plane, like even my RC stuff there, years ago. I always did them up in dope, and guys would get talking about, oh, I got some of that if you want it. Sure. And then I got this pile of, I got sick dope that must be 30, 40 years old. Nothing wrong with it. Then you find it on sale at hobby shops because they can't sell it, so I pick it up. Between the dope and the gunpowder, if this place ever caught fire, there'd be nothing left of Redwater but a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
I probably got about 6 gallon up here of dope, maybe 7. Couple gallons of thinner.
And all that balsa dust when you're sanding.
Got lots of wood. No smoking.
Nope. Not a good
I
idea.
I used to smoke up here too.
It's amazing the places
Yeah, I see
use
you're vaping now.
the stuff you used to smoke around. And then when you think about it after you quit, it's like, good Lord.
How did I not blow myself up?
Well, I used to
We were at Rodax, and Danny Banjock was mixing jet fuel, propylene oxide, alcohol, nitro, and benzene or whatever, you know, some kind of chemical concoction. So I got this electronic cigarette, and I walked up behind him, took a hit, and I blew the smoke out, and you should have seen him. He just about had a heart attack. No smoking! Danny, I ain't smoking, don't worry.
I'm going to try vaping. I'm going to go to the vape store tomorrow and look at and see what's available because I want to get off of these cigarettes.
What's the difference?
Somebody with all of my crap.
What's that, Gerald?
Well, what's the difference between a cigarette and vaping? It's still smoking it.
It's a lot cleaner.
No, it's not
The
even.
vapor that you blow out is only water vapor, I think, too. So
I know I see guys in front of me in a car using something that gotta be, and I can't get over the plume of smoke that comes out of their face. It's like, oh,
it does. It's steam, actually. I think it's mostly water vapor, but it does blow a huge
Yeah.
amount of steam.
I quit in 1999. There's a bunch of us at the Harley shop. We all smoked, so we all, including the girlfriend at the time. And I was the only one that succeeded.
I've been vaping now 4 years.
Do you use any nicotine in it?
Yeah. I smoked
At least it
Camel
doesn't
filter for
hurt.
30 years, so nicotine is probably, what I was looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, well, either way, it doesn't have all the garbage in it that cigarette smoke does.
I heard some folks are using that for dope too, eh?
No, impossible.
Ash oil or some damn thing, I don't know.
I'll let you know how that works. Just kidding. Damn, I'm seeing shit like this on the World Wide Web.
They know what you're doing anyway.
No doubt.
Oh, you Yanks.
Some of it's legal where I live.
Where do you live, Mike?
Colorado.
Colorado? Where?
Southern Colorado.
My sister-in-law lives in Seattle, but it's not legal there yet for the same way it is. I think you can get medical pretty easy though.
Colorado's got recreation. That's why the big town near me has 28 pot shops.
How do the surrounding states feel about that?
I haven't heard, but I'm sure they're not real happy about it. Thanks to Tommy Tong getting involved in Colorado politics.
Oh God, I remember teaching John.
Yeah, when they were trying to get the law through, Tommy Chong was out here doing advertisements for them.
Oh, I love those movies, the Cheech and Chong. The first one was always the best, though.
Up and smoke, still smoking.
Yeah, that's it. I used to be able to recite the script to that movie.
My cat just came in to visit. He snuck in. He's not supposed to be in here.
Mine's 20 years old. We were going to put her down last week and then just couldn't do it. And God, that was a bad day. But she's still with it due to executive order.
Raggle! Get! Raggle! Come here! Come here!
Mine's name's Tribble.
The trouble with tribbles?
Yeah.
This one here is a big, fat one.
Hey, kitty cat, how you doing, baby?
Now, if I wasn't looking at the screen and after our current topic, and you just saying that could have meant something else.
Oh, that could have gone all kinds of wrong directions.
Get the mouse. Get the mouse. We got mice here, and he likes to look for them once in a while.
Once in a while, he's not terribly concerned about it, eh?
Well, they can stand in his dish, and as long as they ain't eating his food, he won't do nothing. The lazy dog, boy. I've seen him walk right on him.
Well, by the size of him, that should have done the job.
Yeah, he looked like a big boy.
He's pretty good. He's pretty healthy. Come on. Come on. Get.
He's being a cat.
Yeah.
Take a message.
Me, I have 2 hooligans that are dogs.
We got about 10 outside cats, and we feed all the strays. And this guy here, he just let himself in the door. And he won't go.
He knows where he's got it good.
Well, I think what happened was the next door neighbor moved and left their cat, and he thinks he's close to home, so he just decided, well, the door's open, we'll just go on in.
Yeah, that's a cat.
Male cats are usually a lot friendlier compared to female cats.
Sometimes.
They're more likely to sit in your lap or let you hold them. Females are a little more offish.
The outside cats want to come inside, and the inside cats want to go outside.
Yeah. Tribble's an indoor-outdoor cat. She just goes, we let her go wherever she wants. And when we go off on vacation, we leave her out for a week by herself. As long as a neighbor checks her food and water, she's fine. But not now. She's too old to do that now. But that's just recent.
She's haven't had a pet since '99. That was a German Shepherd.
We had a blonde lab named Nilla, but she died at age 14 about 4 or 5 years ago.
That's a pretty good age for a lab.
Yeah, she had terrible arthritis in her hips. I think that's what most labs get, dysplasia, hip dysplasia.
Labs, Shepherds, and they both get that pretty bad.
Yeah, that's what one of my 2 hooligans is. He's about 6 or 7, and he's a blonde lab mix. He's almost white.
Yeah, ours was a mix too. We never did figure it out. She might have had a little collie in her or something like that.
Yeah, I'm on the go too much to have pets, and the wife feels the same way.
Yeah, after Tribble, we're not gonna re-pet as far as I know, except my wife looks at puppies on the internet, and I can hear her going, "Oh."
So you can
So
the future.
never know, one might show up.
Yeah. Well, we're gone on the bike all the time. We travel.
Right.
It's just too much of a pain in the ass trying to find somebody to look after.
Yep.
Does your wife ride on the back of your bike, or has she got her own bike, or how do y'all ride?
She sits on the back with a big grin on her face.
All right. Get bugs in her teeth that way.
No, I usually catch most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got an old Harley Decker.
They'll come around in that helmet vortex and get her in the face.
I got her shorty helmet. It's got a little shield on it. Works pretty good. But she was never on a motorcycle before she met me. And I took her for her first bike ride in 2007, I think.
Wow.
And I couldn't get her off.
Yeah.
What you been painting on the Continentals tonight? Just another coat of dope, clear?
I'm covering the flaps and just tinkering, doing the fillets and paint, putting some clear on it. It's going to be a couple of days before I get ready to paint it, I think. I got one more piece of woodwork to do, and that's the cowl. I should be able to get that done tomorrow. I'm looking for my knife so I can mark this fillet.
So that'll be your cowl video?
Yeah. I did a cowl video, but I'm going to do it in voiceover again. I get, the guys like that voiceover.
I do
That's
too.
pretty good. I'm getting on to watching that. I watched your You're wrapping the lead outs there. That was great.
Yeah, I watched the jig on the table installing the wing. It was pretty good. That was a voiceover.
Yeah, I think I've watched them all of these. I've got
I have to go back to the
the
beginning.
Excalibur videos and the Atlas videos. That guy buy the Atlas start?
What's that?
Mike, what do you call yourself on Stunt Hanger?
Mike M, I think. I don't have a.
Okay, I don't recall seeing any posts by Mike M.
I don't post much. I just watch mostly.
Yeah. How about hogs and planes? I hadn't seen any of your posts either. Do you ever post, Daryl?
I just got in there a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
I posted a couple times way back when I was trying to find a needle valve for a Fox 40, the non-channel, like the 7071 Fox 40 that I wound up with.
I first joined when I learned about precision aerobatics. Had never heard of it before, and that was probably 2013, maybe 2012. I think it was 2013 though. And so I just kind of lurked for a while and got to know the community unwritten protocol of how to act, you know. So then I started posting like crazy.
I'll start posting on the forum.
Sometimes I talk too much on the forums too, and so I try to back off a little bit. Stunt Hanger, you don't post a lot of shit back and forth like we do on Cox Engine Forum. That's more of a chummy forum over there. All of my flight videos. Every time I go flying, a flight report with videos and pictures over there.
That's a forum, is it? Cox Engine?
CoxEngineForum.com. I hope that's okay with Sparky that I'm saying this on his Stunt Hanger video. So
I don't care.
Yeah, we're kind of. It's all about
I
control
don't
lines.
think there's any competition problem. It's a whole different audience, but there are a lot of crossovers. There's a bunch of Stunt Hanger people over there. People that I've known for pretty well.
Want to go outside? Oh, you want your butt itched. Oh, yeah.
That'd be good because it gets the word out more. Because whether it's half air or not, this information is good on all this stuff. And
Yeah,
including
it is.
the RC guys, the one or two I know left that still build. I've been bugging them to try the old dope and fabric, but they're pretty much hooked on the saran wrap. Eh?
Yeah. That's what I started out with when I built my first built-up wings. It was Ultra Coat. Once I bought one roll of Ultra Coat and did 2 planes with it. And when I ran out, I went to Monocoat and never looked back. And it was something that I took to naturally. My first job came out really nice, and ever since then I've gotten better and better at it. So, but the best monocoater I know is Dane Martin. But I don't do fuselages. I have no use for a monocoated fuselage. Dane does a nice job of it with, you know, keeping it from leaking and method. But all I want to monocoat is the wings. I paint the rest.
Dane is a RC guy.
Oh, is he still doing anything with the CLC at all, or?
No, I think CLC is going to go away.
Okay.
What's CLC?
Control Line
My
Craft.
other website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their website? Is that what you said?
Mhm.
Yeah. I did Control Line Craftsman for videos, and now that I got this YouTube channel up and running, it's one is too much.
I don't think I joined it and looking at it a couple of times. Were those videos from CLC available to the general public if they went to YouTube and looked them up?
They are now, but they weren't
Are they?
before.
Okay.
You want to go outside? Come on. Outside.
You're into the half A's. Do you ever, what the hell are they called? The OK Cub. Do they run the same fuel as a Cox engine?
Yeah. Pretty much. Now, I have some OK Cubs that somebody gave me. I've never run one, but a lot of the guys over at Cox Engine Forum do. I don't know that they put the nitro through them like I do with mine, but I think it's basically the same thing. They probably don't need caster as much. The reason the Coxes need so much caster is because of the ball socket connection between the rod and the piston. Needs that varnish build up in there from slapping around, and that it would probably need, you know, a lot less, but they run fine on 50/50. It's just like a Fox. If you've got one that's run pure caster all its life and you go and run 50/50 in it, then you'll wash the varnish.
Yeah.
But if you start fresh with 50/50, then they run great like that. I just can't answer questions about the OK Cubs, though. I don't have any real working experience with them.
I got two brand new ones I found on eBay. They're old stock or made from original parts or some damn thing. And I got another one my father gave me that he used to use when he was a kid.
Are they front rotary valve type engines?
Yes.
With the Venturi on front?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I think that's what I've got in the drawer. Yeah, because that's the same thing. There's Win Max, but we call over on Cox Engine Forums, we call those pipe bombs because they have a non-metal, some kind of a fibrous crankcase, and they don't have any mounting lugs. It just looks like a piece of pipe that's stuffed at one end with a cylinder screwed into it and a propeller on the front. So they call them pipe bombs.
Oh,
and there's all kinds
that's a
of ingenious ways. That's it. Yeah, that sure is. That's what it is.
Yeah, I have two of them as well.
That's a neat name. That's kind of a cool name for them, pipe bomb.
Yeah, but be careful where you post it and say it, because that's a word that might get flagged if you've been writing about pipe bombs. And
yep.
So.
Yep, you'd have to be
You
careful.
get flagged for just about anything now.
Yeah, but I know.
Yeah.
More obvious than others.
Well, I'm a gun owner in Canada, so they watch me every day.
Oh my. That don't sound like fun at all.
No, every day.
Just don't shoot anybody you're not supposed to, and I guess you'll be all right.
Even if you're supposed to, you're not supposed to shoot them.
Yeah, I know.
You're not allowed to defend yourself here.
Inside of your house?
Not supposed to, no.
Better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Yep, that's the way I see it. Inside your house, it's touch and go. Odin, you're not allowed to defend your property with a firearm or anything like that. You're allowed.
What if the intruder has a firearm?
Double odd buck.
What if the intruder has a firearm? Are you still not supposed to take action with your firearm?
Once he's inside your house, it's fair game, but you're still going to go through hell in court. Like in
Yeah.
the United, most states, the cops will just say it's self-defense, and that's pretty much it. But here,
Yeah.
it's going to be 3 or 4 years of defending yourself.
Yeah.
And then the guy who's trying to kill you will sue you.
It don't sound like much fun at all.
No. I have an alarm system here, and I got all that shit. So, I mean, I have a shotgun in my bedroom, but it's legally stored, which means it has a trigger lock on it. So you gotta.
Yeah.
And it's not allowed to be loaded.
So what are you supposed to say? Wait a minute, let me get ready.
You play bluff. Now I could load a 12
Wow,
gauge.
it's a dangerous game.
Yeah, I can load a 12
I don't care
gauge.
to play that game.
Yeah, if I'm going to point something at somebody, I'm going to be willing to pull the trigger.
Yeah,
You better be.
the world ain't getting any safer.
Nope. That's for sure.
Hello!
And the politicians ain't getting any smarter.
That's
You are.
definite.
I mean, every now and then I watch what's going on in the U.S. with these two. You guys have a third option, but nobody in the planet's even talking about your Libertarian Party.
I have voted Libertarian before when I was just disgusted with both of the main party
There's only
candidates.
one
But
option.
I think the party system's ridiculous.
It's a
What's
little
that,
up-
Sparky?
There's only one option this year.
Because otherwise this country's done as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the thing is, those two are going at each other. Now, I haven't really seen them talking about your unemployment, your
Yeah,
job.
tell me what you're going to do for the country. God.
One of them has.
Sort of. You're going to build a wall, so that'll employ a bunch of Mexicans to keep Mexicans out. But other than that,
Well, if you think about it, if you drop the taxes for all the big corporations, are going to stay in the country. Ford is going to stay here instead of going to Mexico, and that's going to put how many people to work in Michigan? I mean, there's roads to be built, airports to be built. There's going to be a lot of construction going on, so there's going to be a lot of work. The other way, they want us to be a service economy. So what are we going to be doing? We're going to be selling service to somebody else. Well, they don't have any money. You got to make something.
Yeah, you have to be able to you have to be making something to have an economy that works. Making or growing or doing something that benefits others.
as soon as you said growing, British Columbia popped in my head. And they're, I wonder how much of that stuff ends up in your legal states.
Oh, that kind of growing? No, yeah.
Is this the greasy peckerhead we got for prime minister now? He promised to legalize that nationally.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure our lovely president would have liked to also, but there's enough states that have some common sense.
Well, they want to do this. They want to do the same thing here in this country. Make the NAU, the North American Union, make Mexico and Canada and the United States all the same. No thanks.
Yeah, it worked well for Europe, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The British.
Yeah.
are an
Yeah,
example.
British got some brains anyway.
Yeah, finally. It's too late, though, I think, for them.
Anybody going flying tomorrow?
Yeah, I might.
That's what I got planned.
I'm probably going to go Tuesday or Thursday. I need at least one more good day before Huntersville. I'm still not trimmed out to my satisfaction.
I was trimming out my Oriental there. I put a couple of videos up on it, and I got it to where I think it's okay, but then somebody who really knows how to fly probably fly and say, wow.
You need an outside observer to observe your wings and make sure they're flying straight too, because you can't always tell that. You can kind of see if you're really high or low on the outboard side. The wing will present itself when you turn a loop in one direction or another, or not even a loop, just jerk it up or down, and you can see if the wing presents itself. And make sure if you know your wheels are aligned, if you can see the yaw out by seeing if the wheel peeks out.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of things you need an outside observer to do too.
I put my camera on a tripod and I did a video, and I was able to get my wings straight that way.
What do you want?
I guess I'm the only one who doesn't have a cat.
I don't. I've got 2 dogs.
Oh,
I probably won't have one pretty soon.
yeah, it sucks when they pass.
Got
Yeah,
a bunch of them here if you want some.
no thanks. We got some feral cats around here too.
There's a lot of cats around here. Oh,
Yeah,
yep.
this town's full of feral cats that harass my dogs when they're out on a regular basis.
Yeah, cat will tear a dog up.
I keep telling this lab, you don't want to catch that.
Labradors
Yes,
are a little
treat a
bit
raccoon in my yard.
Yeah, we got them here too.
Raccoon will make a hell of a mess out of a dog.
Yep.
We got possums
The
too.
fun we have here in this town is we're up in the mountains enough. Late fall and early spring, we have bears here. Which
What about
a number of
cougars and coyotes?
trash cans. Yep, we
What
have
about
those
cougars
around.
and coyotes? Do you have those much?
Yeah, we've got mountain lions and coyotes, both.
I
I'm
think-
very
Mountain
rural.
lion, same thing as a cougar, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think a barrel really
Ted,
fucked a dog up.
Yeah.
Bear will mess up anything.
What do you want? Go on. Go on.
I thought
What
you
that?
put her out.
Oh, no. He took a message. Shut up.
You want to eat the, where'd it go?
As soon as a cat knows you don't want him around, that's when he starts hanging out.
Oh, absolutely. What?
I don't miss the cat hair everywhere, that's for sure. I grew up, we always had cats.
He don't come in here very often.
Our little dog has a long-haired dog that sheds, is in the middle of shedding big time. It's kind of goofy to me. It's getting ready to be winter. Her fur is everywhere. Real fine.
Getting rid of his summer coat.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you at?
Daryl.
Hmm.
Daryl, you got some kind of mariner standing next to a ship's wheel behind you. What's that?
Oh, the wheel's a clock. And the mariner's a ceramic captain I made when I was in high school.
Oh,
Are you a descendant from a maritime family?
I'm from the east coast of Canada, yeah.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, I got sick of unemployment insurance and looking for work, so I just came out to Alberta. I got a
Is Nova
license.
Scotia part of Canada?
Yeah.
You say it's part of Quebec?
Nova Scotia. Is,
Yeah.
East coast of Canada.
Okay.
Quebec's a foreign country.
I think they want to be anyway.
Yeah, so do we. It'd be cheaper that way. The welfare province. I don't think they'll be holding any more referendums. They did a poll a couple of years ago, and 68% of Canadians said if they want to go, good riddance. And we haven't heard a peep of them since.
Isn't Trudeau from Quebec?
No, the average Joe Quebecer is just trying to make a living like everybody else, but their politics is horrid. They're still pissed off because the Brits kicked their ass in a war 200 years ago. Of course, it was the second time. I guess they never forgot it.
Well, I think the U.S. came marching up that way with malicious intentions at one time, didn't they?
Yeah, that was the first war you guys lost.
Mm.
We got 7 people watching.
Somebody, if some more
Hey,
of
all
them
you,
get on
hey,
the.
all you silent lurkers, come on in.
You must find us entertaining.
Yeah, I get comments from time to time about things I've said on these little shows that come from people who have never signed on. Some of my buddies watch it.
The my model links, I don't get a lot of hits on. I might get 100, 150. Motorcycles are about triple that. But my gun videos, good Lord, some of them are thousands, tens of them.
Yeah, I did a little exploring through your videos one day, and there's a lot of interesting stuff in there.
Yeah, getting bored's not an option.
I'm strictly showing off my airplane abilities and inabilities equally.
Trust me, life is easier that way. Hell of a lot cheaper, too.
Yeah.
Hey, I was young. I got married and I was divorced in my mid-20s. I was single for 19 years, so yeah, I was sworn to fun, loyal to none for a long time. I bought whatever I wanted once I got into the oil patch, and I ended up with a shitload of hobbies.
Yeah, my wife and I have been married 32 years this past July.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Some of my hobby, especially when I first kind of got back into it, got a little obsessive, but I kind of found the where to draw the line and make sure I tended to the proper amount of business and still had fun. And she actually enjoys going to the contest, which is great because I need the help with, because I'm physically out of endurance, and she really watches my back. I appreciate that. We watch out for each other.
That's good.
It's the way it's supposed to work, I think.
Yeah, divorce is so commonplace nowadays.
Take the time to actually get to know each other like they should and talk about things. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And of course, everybody's different, but at least knowing what to expect has a lot going for it.
Well, here in Alberta, our economy took a shit kicking here in the last year or so. A lot of people unemployed, and the divorce rate is almost unmanageable.
Yeah, money
It's like,
problems lead to domestic problems between husbands and wives too.
so much for better or for worse, eh?
Yeah, yeah. People forget about that
Yeah,
the wedding vow that they took.
Yeah. I take mine seriously, that's for sure.
So death do they part.
Well, they say divorce.
Thank goodness my wife didn't. Thank goodness my wife didn't get ugly after we got married or something like that. You know.
I took care of that part in my marriage.
Yeah, mine's still a babe.
Well, that's fellow asked me. He said to me, he said, I never thought you'd ever get married. And I said, well, I figured I better make a move now before I get too old, fat, and ugly. Won't be able to find a way. Yeah. I ran into a gal. She had her own house, her own car. She worked hard, and she never divorced anybody to get it. So she was never married before. I said, yeah. Completely the opposite of what I was used to. So, and it worked out well.
I think my son finally has a keeper. She's got a little girl, but they get along fine. I think he's training her to be a scientist, you know. So, but it looks good from where I'm standing. So I'm happy about that.
How old is he?
32, almost 32.
Yeah, it's about that time. I was in my late 40s when I got married again.
I think I was 28. Let's see, 1984. Yeah, 28.
I never got married till I was 49 years old in 08.
You're smarter than the rest of us.
No, I got tired of being alone too much.
You need somebody, especially. I hate to say it, but the older you get, the more you really need somebody to vent to you know,
Yeah.
understand what's up. For me anyway, when I'm left to my own devices, I kind of sink a little. I need to be around other people.
I'm kind of an antisocial son of a bitch, but
And when I'm feeling low and I go out, just whether it's shopping or whatever, and get around other people, I perk up and feel a lot better. I just joke with people I've never seen before, you know, and I try to have a good time. That's part of me living so long with all of this medical crap too. I think it's just a lot in the attitude. Just try to have fun. Yeah. What else?
Yeah.
What else you gonna do?
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna. It's getting late and I'm tired.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad I checked in tonight. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
let's see y'all.
Night all. See you Monday, hopefully.
All
Yeah,
right,
maybe.
I'll be back on Monday. So
Yeah.
until I see you guys again, fair winds, tight lines.
All right. Good night. Everybody have a good weekend.
See
You
y'all
too.
tomorrow night.
See ya.